Hey, what's up everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it's game day for the Lakers. We have the Golden State Warriors at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern in Golden State at the Chase Center. Also known as San Francisco, of course. Golden State is not actually a place. So the Lakers have a few people on the injury report to discuss. Luka Doncic, of course, LeBron James, Maxi Kleber, Marcus Smart, Abdul Thiero, all expected not to play tonight. I don't think Bron's playing at all in the preseason. I would be surprised if Luka plays it before he does. Maxi, same thing. I expect that Gabe Vincent may also be out, even though I don't see him on this particular injury report. I don't expect him to play tonight. He's on a different injury report. He ain't there either. So that's what to say there. And then, of course, with the Golden State Warriors, they also have some older guys. They're probably not going to play. Steph Curry likely won't play. Trace Jackson-Davis is a game-time decision, according to this thing. Jimmy Butler probably won't play. DeAnthony Melton coming back from a knee injury that kept him out all last season. I don't expect to see him. Moses Moody not expected to play, although it does say game-time decision, so maybe he does play. But, that's not clear at this point. Who all will actually go. But the Golden State Warriors are a team that has kind of brought back a good portion of what they had last year. Jonathan Kuminga, I would imagine, takes on a bigger role. He just signed up for, a 2-year deal. Kind of didn't have a good outcome to his quote-unquote holdout. He was hoping to get a little more or a lot more or maybe get the hell off of the Warriors. I don't know. Maybe a trade comes soon. But I think the Warriors kind of get the upper hand in this situation, unfortunately for him. Al Horford is a new addition to this team. I don't expect to see him tonight as well, obviously, because he's 106 years old. Gary Payton II, older guy. I don't expect to see him. Draymond Green, I don't expect to see. They got an old team, man. I mean, they're not as old as the Clippers because they do have some young guys on their bench. But the majority of this team is old. But they do have a good portion of youthful guys that you're probably going to see a lot of tonight. Alex Tuhey, a guy that I believe they got either in the undrafted market or the second round. I used to hear his name a lot in the draft, so I think he did go in the second round. Guy out of Australia. I think he can make some noise. He's a pretty good prospect there. A guy by the name of Will Richard, young player I expect to see some. Quentin Post, you'll probably see a lot tonight. The center there, stretch 5, did some good things last year. I thought he had a pretty good rookie season. Guy Santos is a guy that I like a lot from the Golden State Warriors bench. Trace Jackson-Davis, as I said, he's on the injury report. He should be playing tonight, given how little minutes he's gotten over the last 2 years. Tavion Kinsley is a name that I'm not familiar with, but he's also on this team. Jackson Rowe. LJ Cryer, young players. Those are the guys that I honestly expect to see the most of from the Golden State Warriors. It should be a much more manageable opponent, in theory, given that they're sitting as many stars as we are, than the Suns that we saw 2 nights ago that really had our number. Coach J.J. Redick mentioned that the Suns had kind of been playing with one another, so to speak, since September. So they've had a lot more time to gel. We just got to training camp about 5 minutes ago and are already thrown into battle, plus missing key players. It wasn't a good show for the Lakers, as you guys know. If you watched my video, you watched that game, it wasn't nothing to really be too excited about. We did like what we saw from Austin Reeves. From what I understand, people were really excited about the defensive stuff that they saw from Vanderbilt. But overall, it was a tough game for the Lakers, to say the least. We really did not do well on either side of the floor and just didn't look like we had been playing very much with one another, because we quite honestly had not. So for me, I didn't really find myself discouraged by that basketball game. I think it was some noteworthy stuff that we took from it that we can build upon. Some guys struggled shooting the ball really bad, so that was something that I think we'll just shake off as we continue to play more ball. I was hoping to see better looks from guys like Bronny James and Dalton Connect. I thought they were aggressive, but extremely poor shooting there. Bad defense from some of our guys as well. So we didn't have the greatest show. RJ Davis really stood out, and I mentioned him early on in my video. 5 of 8 shooting from the field, 1 or 2 from behind arc, and hit all 3 of his free throws. So he was good with the minutes given, and I thought he had a bad summer league, so he was a noteworthy player, standing out for me in that Phoenix loss. But ultimately, we lost by 22 points. only scored 81 points. It was bad. We got out rebounded. They had severely destroyed us in the assist category. So, yeah, we got a lot of work to do. And turning around 2 nights later and trying to play again, I don't know that I expect us to be world beaters, but I would hope that we would be a little better in this game than we were against Phoenix, who does have some good defensive players that they threw out there, like Ryan Dunn and a few others. So today, we hopefully learned what we need to learn, burn the tape, and run out there in Golden State and try to have a better showing, man. It really does come down to our roster just not knowing one another very much, so you hope that this can give them some of that extra experience that they were lacking. There were some guys who didn't play in this first game of the Summer League that were available to play. I don't think it's in terms of any pecking order at all. I just think that this is what you can expect in the Summer League. You got more than enough people to showcase, and you got to start somewhere. So I'd imagine some of the people that we didn't see as much in Game 1, we may see more of in Game 2. Like Chris Magnon, for example, I expect to see him a little more. In fact, I don't even think he checked into the last game. Kyler Kelly, we may see tonight. Tevion Jones, I don't remember if he checked in. I don't think he did. Eric Dixon, if he's available, he's been hurt. Maybe we see him a little more tonight. So there were some guys that didn't play, and I don't think it's because they are benched or anything like that. I just, after watching this preseason basketball stuff for 30 years, you just kind of understand they got to start somewhere. They have more than enough players to showcase, as I already said. And usually there's a great deal of shuffling going on where you'll see a lot of somebody that you didn't see much of in the other games. Throughout the course of these 6 preseason games, I'm sure we will get a good look at all of the players who are available. Chris Magnon is the main one I think I want to see the most of. They gave him a 2-way spot, and we have a couple of guys that I think could be deserving of a 2-way spot, and so he's going to have to get some minutes. JJ is obviously going to put him out there at some point in this preseason to really see what he can do, and I'm excited about him. What I've seen from him, he's a very good connective piece. Could probably play some 2 and some 3. I want to see him, so hopefully we can get him out there. Chris Magnon, and get some real minutes out of him. So yeah, man, it's unfortunate Abdou Thero is still out. The knee is, I guess he's dealing with some swelling, so I don't expect to see him in the preseason. But I must say I don't expect to see him very much at all this season, to be honest. I just don't think you'll see much of rookies this year. And we understand the Laker team is made up of a few guys who are going to eat up a majority of the minutes and take the majority of the shots and make the majority of the plays. Those players are not available. So what we're seeing is a collection of young players that are trying to make it in this league right now, a collection of role players that likely fit better when those stars are in place. And ultimately, your team is not going to make much sense until you get Bron, Luka, and Austin together. Otherwise, you're just seeing a bunch of stuff that wasn't actually put together to play together without those guys. So that's really what it is. I don't expect to see the Lakers play all that great because of that dynamic. DeAndre Ayton only scored 1 point in the first game. I know he got a lot of criticism, but to be honest with you, I was actually very encouraged by Ayton's defensive play and, of course, his rebounding, which is always consistent. He's one of the better rebounders in basketball. But his defense is where I really thought he shined, and that's where I think he's actually not considered to be a strong player. So for me, I was more encouraged by DeAndre Ayton than I was discouraged by his lack of scoring. The scoring's going to come around. He scores in his sleep. He didn't have a great scoring night. Boo-hoo, who cares? What he did was get a couple steals and a block, if I'm not mistaken. And that was huge for me because I want him to be a plus on the defensive end from night to night. And I also want to see him engage in a lot of effort throughout the course of this season. His effort tends to wane at times, and I will expect that there will be a time where we're frustrated with him not getting back and stuff like that. But if he can overcome that demon, I think it'll go a long way, a very long way, in him being an extremely effective starter for the Lakers. So that's what I want to see, him attack his weaknesses. And early on, I think he's done that. Scoring is the least of my worries with him. So yeah, Rui Hachimura had a bad shooting night, but I just don't think that's something you're going to see very often. I haven't seen Rui get in too many slumps in his career. If anything, he hits more shots than most as it pertains to his shot. per night. He's just an extremely efficient player. So for him to go 3-4, I don't expect to see that very much. I don't know how much they're going to play him tonight. He is a starter, and when it comes to these type of preseason games, as I said, I don't expect to see starters too much. But I would imagine he's going to have a better game tonight if he suits up. I'll tell you that. I do expect him to be better. Jackson Hayes, he filled up the box score a little bit, but he also fouled a lot. He's really going to have to start finding a way to stay on the basketball floor for his basketball team. I don't have high expectations. I don't believe his ceiling is very high, but ultimately you want to see him grow from last year to this year. I like the weight that he's put on, but I do think he looks a little clunkier than he ever did. He was more of a spry, free-flowing center in the past, that just, highly explosive and stuff like that. And I felt like he didn't have as much explosiveness just to the eye test. So I don't know if the weight is actually better for him. Now that I've seen one game, we will look and see if there's more, but it looks like the weight probably ain't better for him. So I'm curious to see if others think that way. It was an early, just a couple minutes in the preseason when we see much from him. But it seemed to me that the weight may have taken some of his explosiveness or some of his agility from him. And so that's not a good thing, because one of the things that Jackson brings to the table is a whole lot of agility. And he's only 25 years old, so how much you expect him to lose athletically, especially without any injury. But I just wonder if the weight is not healthy weight that he put on. Curious to know if that's what I'm looking at. So Dalton Knecht, I want to say that I am always honest with you guys. I feel like Dalton Knecht is struggling up here. I think that, and this is me just looking at it from the outside in. I don't know Dalton, I never met him, don't expect to be right about everything. But when it comes to Dalton Knecht, he looks like a shot basketball player, if I'm being honest with you. A guy who's lost his confidence, who's deep in his head, who's probably willing his own failure subconsciously, because he really does shoot the ball very well naturally. He's really athletic. He can rebound. He's not a great defender, but the ball is not falling. And I just wonder if it's not more mental than it is physical or anything else. He has been struggling substantially since being traded, and not everybody's wired the same. You know what I mean? Some people really struggle in certain circumstances, and it seems to me that we might have pressed the wrong button with this particular kid, dating back to last season when we benched him after him playing well. Then from there, trading him, and then the trade getting rescinded, him having to go back into the locker room. That might have really messed him up. And, some people, it takes a lot for them to be, quote unquote, messed up in the head. Other people, maybe not as much. And to me, this looks like this was the right combination of circumstances, coupled with maybe anything else that he might be going through, that may have just really made him just lose his mojo. That's what it feels like. He's like one of the all-stars from Space Jam that just lost their mojo. They don't have it anymore. And he looks like one of those people who's really lost it. I don't know if he needs a change of scenery to get it back. I don't know if he's just in a slump and I'm overthinking this. But every time I see him, and it's been this way since he got back from the trade, I see a shot basketball player. And I've seen shot basketball players before. So I kind of know what it looked like. And he looked like he shot. I don't doubt that the talent is naturally there, but he's going to have to overcome whatever he's going through mentally, and he may need a change of scenery in order for that to be the case. If he can, I would not be surprised if he struggles like this for the rest of the time he's a Laker. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd like to think he won't. I know what he can do. We saw him do it in a Laker uniform against Utah last year, against the Suns in the preseason last year. We saw him in college basketball be fantastic for the Tennessee Volunteers. This is a good player. But when a person's mind is shot, you're not going to get nothing out of him. And I'm legitimately at this point starting to believe that this is a shot basketball player. So hopefully Dalton can snap out of it. He's a young guy. He's only 24 years old. He hasn't suffered any injuries. The athleticism's in place. He rebounds the ball consistently well. His defense is never going to be what you want it to be, so that's not where you're judging him. But he's a natural three-point shooter, a natural-born scorer who should roll out of bed and be able to score in his sleep. And he can't get anything going. And at this point, I'm starting to wonder if we're not going to be able to get it out of him. We remember Malik Beasley, he couldn't hit a shot with the Lakers. Send him to Detroit and send him to Milwaukee, and all of a sudden he's earning money. He's doing all types of stuff, just being a key player for them, doing all the stuff he couldn't do for us. Some people just can't get it done in a Laker uniform. The lights are too bright, the pressure's too much, and they can't do it. They can't do it wearing yellow. I don't know if Dalton's that. I don't know if this same scenario would have taken place elsewhere. It wouldn't be the same type of thing. Maybe it would have. But I do legitimately think that we're looking at a psychological issue, more so than a basketball issue with this particular kid. And with him being an older rookie last year, being drafted 23 years of age, that's really concerning. You know, because we got guys on this team that are 21. You got guys on this team that are 20. You know what I'm saying? He's not. So that's why I'm worried that we may have just broken. We may have broken. We may have broke the kid. So that's what I want to say. I hope I'm wrong. I like Dalton as a prospect. I like him as a player. Seemed like a good kid. I think he wants to be good. He doesn't have bad work ethic, so I know he'll work his way through whatever. He's in great shape. You know what I mean? The explosiveness is there, but I just think that his confidence is completely shot, and it shows every time he's put on a uniform since being traded. So that's something that I can't shake. I wish him the best in our uniform. I like him to be here. I don't necessarily think trading a shooter like that is ever a good idea, especially when you have some of the things that we have going on with the ability to catch somebody in a corner for a good open shot or whatever. I think he could be a hell of a piece for us. But I really am starting to believe that he's not going to be good for us. I'm starting to believe that. So hopefully he snaps out of it. I know what his ceiling is. I know what he can do when he's right. I wouldn't be overly surprised that when he snaps out of this, he does something terrific, like scoring 40 points. That would not shock me because he has that type of talent. But when you couple his defensive deficiencies and the fact that he seems to be shot, those are two things you can't have happen. Now, if he were a lockdown defender, then you just live with it because you know he's going to help you on that end. But that he's not good defensively makes him struggling on the offensive end significantly more of a problem. If I were his coach, I'd probably tell him to crash the glass in an exaggerated way. That's what I would tell him to do. Try to pull down 10 boards a night. Do what's working, because what's not a problem is your rebounding. What's not a problem is you crashing the glass. So I would try to gobble up every board and tell him to focus on that more than focus on anything. And just try to accumulate as many boards as you can, humanly possible. Fight everybody for boards, including Nate. Just get boards and judge yourself on your rebounding and your free throw shooting for now. Don't worry about 3-point shots. Don't worry about anything else. If you can dunk the ball a bunch of times, do that. But your goal, where you should find your confidence, is in the things that you're already strong at and where you're already killing it. And so if he can grab about 8 boards every night in this preseason, I think that will be a confidence builder for him, and that can help him overcome his issues right now. Set high goals in areas where you're already doing well. That's how you get out of this slump, in my opinion. So yeah, man, that's what I see there. I'm very much attentive to him. I think giving him all the minutes in the world is probably a good thing. He has to continue to work through this. More basketball is best. Shooting his way out of a slump is definitely what we need him to do, and keeping it very simple for him for now is important. And if it is necessary, for those who know him, if it is necessary, I'm not saying it is, have him sit down with a sports psychologist, because this is exactly what that is for. So that's what I have to say about that. I don't blame the kid. I blame the Lakers. Our front office needs to give him the tools that he needs to be his best out there, both on the court and off it. We are one of the most prestigious organizations in the NBA. We got a kid who's struggling with his confidence. We understand that we have a bright light situation here, and we need to be better as an organization for helping people deal with that. You know what I mean? You can't just provide hell of a lot of pressure without having the tools for which to deal with that pressure for those who are not good at it. It's incumbent upon the front office and our ownership to make up for all the pressure that comes with being a Laker by being the best organization in the league with dealing with pressure in psychological circumstances. I really believe that. So that's what I want to say, and I'm challenging our new ownership to invest in that area, because we've had too many players come in here that don't play well in our uniform, that play well elsewhere. It's psychological. We need to be the league leader in helping people with that, so we can bring anybody to our uniform and get the most out of them. So that's what I want to say, man. Yeah, these are the thoughts that are on my mind. Y'all know I take a different approach. A lot of people, when they talk about the Lakers, they want to talk about this and that. This is the type of stuff that my head goes immediately. So, yeah, Bronny James, I just want him to continue to be aggressive. He attempted 12 shots. That's what I want to see. Last year, he started his career, he only wanted to attempt 2 shots. And when he did attempt shots, he was only taking 3s. He got to the line 6 times, hit 5 of them. That's a winner's mentality for me. Unfortunately, the shots did not fall. He's not a particularly talented shooter, per se. He's just going to have to continue to put in the work. Shoot like crazy, get in there with the shooters, and become an NBA-level shooter. Once that happens, the rest of his game's going to open up. He does have some defensive abilities. He can fly like his father. This kid is very good at certain things already that don't have anything to do with shooting. He just needs to come around with the shooting, and him attempting more shots and being aggressive is the best way to do it. I second what Michael Thompson said on the telecast. Bronny just needs to continue to play like he did in the G League. In the G League, he was going off for 25 points. He did it because he attempted 12 shots, 13 shots, stuff like that. He needs to do that. He needs to continue to do that, and he will have nights where he'll be more efficient than he was the first night of the preseason. So he wasn't alone there. Rui got a lot of shots up. I like that. For me, I don't want Rui to get anything less than 9 shots. Whether he's hitting them or not, he needs to get consistent touches. And as somebody who's a scorer, he needs his looks. So I was very pleased with the attempts. Unfortunately, they just didn't fall. And Dalton, same thing. These are scorers. They need their looks. So I'm not mad at them for attempting shots. That's what I want them to do. And, yeah, man, looking forward to seeing Marcus Smart. Of course, he will not be playing tonight, but I think his leadership is going to help define what our team identity is going to be. I think his personality has a great deal to do with where we're headed. So I'd love to see him out there sooner than later. I don't know if he's ready to go. I don't want you to rush him, but he's somebody that I think really needs to kind of set the tone for the rest of the unit. Even though we have superstar leaders, it's Marcus Smart's spirit that I think is going to get us as far as we're going. I really do believe that. So that's just something that comes to mind for me. And hopefully Eric Dixon can go, man. I know what type of scorer he can be. R.J. Davis played so well in the first game. I'm ready to see some of these people we haven't seen, man. Marshallonis, Dixon, and Magnon. Where are these people? These are some of our most important undrafted prospects. These are some of our most important young players. They're not playing. And it may be injury issues. Obviously, Abdul Thero as well. I want to see these people. I want to know if they can play. This is when they're supposed to be showcasing themselves, and we haven't seen them. So, yeah, those 4 specifically, Magnon, Marshallonis, Dixon, and Thero. It sucks that they're not out there, man. It really sucks that they're not out there. So that's what I want to say. But we will run with what we have and continue to try to be competitive, although I don't expect much tonight, just like I didn't expect much on Friday. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get a victory against a Golden State team that also has some young players, probably more polished young players that they're going to showcase tonight on their home floor. So we'll see, man. We'll see more Austin Reeves. He looked great in that first game. I want to continue to do that. Of course, the 3-ball didn't fall as much. I think he was like 1 for 5 or something like that, but he was very efficient driving at the rim. He looked good. Got to the line a lot. I like what I saw from Austin. I think this could potentially be an all-star season for Austin. If we happen to be a top 3 team in the Western Conference, we could earn 3 all-stars this year. It's not crazy. Do I expect us to be a top 3 team? Not necessarily, but Austin Reeves being his best can raise our ceiling significantly. And I think with the more balanced roster that we have right now, higher level starters in role-playing situations like Ayton and Smart, I think it can make our team a lot better than maybe people expect it to be, especially if we can find a way to solidify our bench rotation and make it a better bench than it was last year, because last year our bench was not up to par. I think it is a little better, if not a lot better this year, if we can get these young players into roles and stay a little healthier, to say the least as well. So that's what I want to say, man. We gotta get it together. A healthy Maxi Kleber will help as well. I think if he could be a stretch five, we'll just overall raise our talent level from possession to possession. Because last year we had to rely upon some people we knew that were not, up to par. I think that if certain guys that we have in place now are healthy, we'll get more Vanderbilt, you get more Maxi Kleber, you get more, you insert some other players, you should have a little bit of a better bench if those guys are playing well. So, I don't think the Lakers bench is top tier in the league or nothing like that, but I do think that we have some upside young players that if they all play their best, suddenly we do have a pretty good bench. So, yeah, not the greatest, but we got a lot to work with, and we need to develop people. So it is what it is, man. I think it's still going to be some hard to watch basketball maybe tonight, to be honest with you. Without our stars and without our key role guys and without our favorite young players, of whom we've yet to meet, but we will consider them our favorites if they play as well as I know they're able to. So we'll just run what we got. Guys like Jared Cumberland, Anton Watson, Nate Williams, Kyler Kelly, Tavion Jones. I do expect to see those people. I do expect to see them tonight. Let them get their opportunities and see if they don't shock the world and make the team somehow. But I think that JJ's probably going to lean into some of those guys, and we'll just run with them and see what happens. I think that's really what it is. So, yeah, I would tell people that, just get ready for some tough-to-watch basketball. That's what I tell you. Until we get our full plethora of young players and starters in place, running some cohesive ball, getting comfortable with one another, it's probably not going to be a wonderful watch. But more data is good for us, more opportunities for guys to play well or play poorly to give us that. And, that's really what it's about. It's not about the opponent either. I think they're probably going to be doing the same thing. And, we're happy NBA basketball is back, but we also understand that we haven't had a very extensive training camp, and so our expectations are not very high. We're just happy to have basketball back. That's my point of view on everything. So that's pretty much what I have to say, man. No homework to do because Golden State has yet to play a preseason game. This will be their debut. So hopefully they're struggling tonight and we'll lean into us being successful. BDL 44, I thank y'all for watching.